place new event, and place new event note, patrons searching for date, time, and place-based resources may not find it. I'm going to discuss how these MARC fields work together in a bibliographic record to provide valuable information to patrons, and we'll be sharing examples of each. I will answer your questions at the end of the presentation. Let's stop wasting time and get started. Thankfully, we have an agenda today. It's very brief. In the MARC record examples, the delimiter and subfield code do not display for subfield A, but it is implied. I'm going to go over MARC field 033, MARC field 518, and then provide examples of both MARC fields from real bibliographic records from WorldCat. On the slide is the definition of MARC field 033, date, time, and place of an event. Contains coded data about the capture date and place, date, time, and or place of recording, filming, execution, broadcast, or finding in the case of a naturally occurring object. If an item is recorded or filmed on one date and broadcast on another date, record the information for each event in separate 033 fields. Use field 518 or other 5XX fields to enter this data in note form. Do not use field 033 unless you also use field 518 or another 5XX field. Record this information in an eye-readable form in the record, and I have the URL there to OCLC bibliographic formats and standards. If you remember nothing else from today's presentation, remember that if you have a 033 field in your record, you must have a 518 or other 5XX field. Unfortunately, I don't have any examples of a naturally occurring object, but I do have examples of the other types of events. I have provided an example from OCLC's bibliographic formats and standards on the bottom of the slide. Just ignore the weird spaces between the MARC field 033 and the indicators 02 in the example on the slide. The 033 field is coded for a meteorite that was found on March 5th, 1975 in Richmond, Texas. I will go over how the subfields are coded on the next slide. For MARC field 033, a blank first indicator means that no date information is provided. 0 as the first indicator is for a single date. 1 as the first indicator is used for multiple single dates. Use also for 2 consecutive dates. 2 as the first indicator is for a range of dates. For the second indicator, blank means that no information is provided. 0 as the second indicator is for a capture date. The information is about the recording of sound, the filming of images, or the production or creation of an item. 1 as the second indicator is for a broadcast date. The information is about the broadcast or rebroadcast of sound by radio or images by television. 2 as the second indicator is a finding date. The information is about the finding of a naturally occurring object. Subfield A is for a formatted date time and is repeatable and required if applicable. The date time information is formatted as year, 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 month, month, day, day, hour, hour, minute, minute, plus or minus hour, hour, minute, minute. So year, month, day, hour, minutes. The last 5 positions, plus or minus HHMM, give the time differential factor TDF. TDF is preceded by a plus or minus sign, indicating the hours and minutes the local time is ahead of or behind universal time, Greenwich Mean Time. For the hour, in all cases, the 24-hour clock 00 through 23 is used. Within each date time component, the data is right justified, and any unused position contains a 0. The first date characters, year, 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 month, month, day, day, represent the date and are mandatory if the subfield is used. If any of the first 8 characters being coded are not known, a hyphen is used for the unknown digit. You may enter multiple single date times and date times in a range associated with the same type of event in repeating subfield A's. Earlier times should precede later ones. Enter a hyphen for any part of the date that is unknown. If the entire date is unknown, do not enter subfield A. Subfield B is for the geographic classification area code. It is repeatable and required if applicable. The place represented by a 4 to 6-digit number assigned to a specific geographic area based on the range G3190 through G9980 from the Library of Congress classification Class G. Omit the letter G from the number. If the place is unknown, do not enter subfield B. Subfield C is for the geographic classification sub-area code. It is repeatable and is required if applicable. The sub-area code representing a geographic region, natural feature, or political subdivision of the geographic area from subfield B. The codes are derived from Library of Congress classification Class G or the expanded Cutter number for place names published in geographic Cutter numbers. Do not enter the decimal point. If the place is unknown, do not enter subfield C. Subfield P is for the place of event. It is repeatable, but is optional. May be in a controlled or uncontrolled form. Subfield 0 is for the authority record control number or standard number. It is repeatable, but optional. Please consult OCLC's Bibliographic Formats and Standards, BFAS, for more information. Subfield 1 is for the real-world object URL. It is repeatable, but optional. Please consult OCLC's Bibliographic Formats and Standards, BFAS, for more information. Subfield 2 is for the source of term. It is repeatable and is required if applicable. Mark code that identifies the source of the term in subfield P when from a controlled list. See subject heading and term source codes. Subfield 3 is for the material specified. It is not repeatable and is optional. Please consult OCLC's Bibliographic Formats and Standards, BFAS, for more information. Subfield 6 is for linkage. It is not repeatable and is system supplied. Data that link fields when non-Latin script is entered. This subfield is system supplied and does not appear in OCLC online displays. Do not manually add subfield 6. For more information about subfield 6, see control subfields. Subfield 8 is for the field link and sequence number. It is repeatable but optional. For information about subfield 8, see the control subfields. Date, time, and place of an event note. A note on the date, time, and or place of broadcast, capture, or creation associated with an event. Used to include the date, time, and or place of broadcast, execution, filming, recording, or in the case of a naturally occurring object of finding. Use field 033 to enter this information in coded form. And I have the URL to Bib Formats and Standards there on the slide. When you add MARC field 518, you must also add MARC field 033. MARC field 518 indicators and subfields. Guidelines for the 518 field. You may use field 518 with either a single subfield A or multiple subfields D, O, and P. Follow local practice and these guidelines. Regardless of the choice of subfield practice, single subfield A or multiple subfields, follow MARC 21 input conventions which specify a period at the end of the field. If using multiple subfields, punctuation separating elements is omitted. The indicators are easy to code for MARC field 518. They are both blank. Subfield A is for the date, time, and place an event note. It is not repeatable and is optional. Subfield D is for the date of the event. This is repeatable, but is optional. May be in a controlled, e.g. recorded in the format year, 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 month, month, day, day, in accordance with ISO 8601, representation of dates and times, or uncontrolled form. Subfield O is for the other event information. It is repeatable, but is optional. Subfield P is for the place of the event. It is repeatable, but is optional. May be in a controlled or uncontrolled form. Subfield 0 is for the authority record control number or standard number. It is repeatable, but is optional. For information about subfield 0, see control subfields. Subfield 1 is for the real world object URL. It is repeatable, but is optional. For information about subfield 1, see control subfields. Subfield 2 is for the source of term. It is not repeatable and is required if applicable. Mark code that identifies the source of the term in subfield P when from a controlled list. See subject headings and term source codes. Subfield 3 is more material specified. It is not repeatable and is optional. For information about subfield 3, see control subfields. Subfield 6 is for linkage. It is not repeatable and is system supplied. Data that link fields when non-Latin script is entered. This subfield is system supplied and does not appear in OCLC online displays. Do not manually add subfield 6. For more information about subfield 6, see control subfields. Subfield 7 is the data provenance. It is repeatable, but is optional. For information about subfield 7, see data provenance subfields. Subfield 8 is the field link and sequence number. It is repeatable, but is optional. For information about subfield 8, see control subfields. Here is an example. This screenshot is from OCLC number 321495352, a record that I enhanced for a database cleanup project. This is Jazz Piano, Volume 2, a Smithsonian collection, which was recorded between 1939 and 1955. Notice in the top screenshot, the 033 is coded for both dates since subfield A is repeatable. The first indicator 2 means there are a range of dates, 1939 to 1955, and the second indicator 0 is for the capture date or information about the recording of sound, the filming of images, or the production or creation of an item. Subfield A must have 8 characters, so the years are followed by 4 dashes. This is an example of MARC field 518 with a single subfield A, which simply states recorded 1939 to 1955. Here is an example of a music CD. This is OCLC number 28125397, another record that I enhanced during a database cleanup project, Tosca by Giacomo Puccini. In MARC field 033, both indicators are 0. The first indicator 0 indicates a single date, 196400124, or January 24th, 1964. And second indicator 0 is for the capture date or information about the recording of sound, the filming of images, or the production or creation of an item. And the date is in year, month, day format. In subfield B is the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Area Code. 5754 is for England and L7. Subfield C is the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Sub-Area Code, which is for London. In the bottom screenshot is the 518 field with the entire text all in subfield A, recorded Jan 24, 1964 in London, England. Mozart Piano Sonatas, Volume 3, OCLC number 270338080 is another record that I enhanced during a database cleanup project. Notice that there are 2 033 fields. The first 033 field has 1 as the first indicator, which means there are multiple single dates, 199000827, or August 27th, 1990, and 199100805, or August 5th, 1991. The second indicator 0 is the capture date or information about the recording of sound, the filming of images, or the production or creation of an item. And subfield A is the formatted date time in year, month, day format. The Library of Congress Geographic Classification Area Code in subfield B, 3804 is for New York, and subfield C, the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Sub-Area Code, N4 is for New York City. The second 033 field has 2 as the first indicator, which means that there are a range of dates, and 0 is the second indicator, which means there is no information provided for the type of event. In subfield B, Library of Congress Geographic Classification Area Code 5754 is for England, and subfield C, the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Sub-Area Code C2 is for Cambridge. Notice that the 518 field is formatted. Whenever a 518 field includes a subfield O is always the first subfield, except if there is a subfield 3. Subfield O is for other event information, which is where first and fourth works recorded is stated. In subfield D, date of event, August 27th, 1990 in is found. In subfield P, place of event, BMG Studio A and is found. Then you will see that the second date of the first 033 field appears in the second subfield D in the 518 field, August 5th, 1991 at the, and then you have the second place of event, American Academy and Institute of Arts and Letters, New York City, and subfield P. The final subfield O, D, and P show that the second and third works were recorded on September 7th through 9th, 1989 at the University Music School Concert Hall, Cambridge, England. And I'm going to read this note without verbalizing the subfield code. So if you look at the 518, it just reads first and fourth works recorded August 27th, 1990 in BMG Studio A and August 5th, 1991 at the American Academy and Institute of Arts and Letters, New York City. Second and third works recorded September 7th through 9th, 1989 at University Music School Concert Hall, Cambridge, England. This is Twisted Laurel, OCLC number 274173666. It's another record that I enhanced during a database cleanup project, and it is an audio CD. For this record, MARC field 033 has 1 as the first indicator, multiple single dates, which are 196706 or June 1967, and 197708 or August 1977. Because both dates are only 6 digits long, there are 2 dashes at the end of each one. The second indicator 0 is for the capture date or information about the recording of sound, the filming of images, or the production or creation of an item. Subfield B 3884 is the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Area Code for Virginia. Subfield C F3 is the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Sub-Area Code for Falls Church. MARC field 518 is formatted with subfield 3, material specified, so the date, time, and place of event note for Twisted Laurel is the first 518, and we see that it was recorded in June 1967 in Falls Church, Virginia, while Merchant's Lunch was recorded in August 1977 at Falls Church, Virginia. When there is a subfield 3, that will always precede subfield O. For this record, the 245 field has a space, semicolon space between the 2 titles, and that is allowed. Moussorgsky, Tchaikovsky, OCLC number 44539216 is another record that I enhanced during a database cleanup project and is an audio CD. For MARC field 033, the first indicator 0 means that there is a single date, and second indicator 0 is the capture date, or information about the recording of sound, the filming of images, or the production or creation of an item. In subfield A is the date 199304 or April 1993. Subfield B is the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Area Code 1864, which is for the Netherlands. And subfield C, Library of Congress Geographic Classification Sub-Area Code H2 for Harlem. In MARC field 518, you will see that all text appears in subfield A and that this audio CD was recorded in the Netherlands in April 1993. Just a reminder, the first 8 characters, year, month, day, represent the date and are mandatory if the subfield is used. If any of the first 8 characters being coded are not known, a hyphen is used for the unknown digit or digits. Here we have Trio in G minor for violin, cello, and piano, Op 8 or Opus 8, OCLC number 318-12645, another record that I enhanced during a database cleanup project and is another audio CD. Both MARC 033 fields have 2 as the first indicator, range of dates, and 0 as the second indicator, capture date, information about the recording of sound, the filming of images, or the production or creation of an item. For the first 033 field, the date in subfield A is 1992-0608 or June 8th, 1992, with the second date, second subfield A, of 1992-0610 or June 10th, 1992. In subfield B, the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Area Code 3764 is for Massachusetts, and the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Sub-Area Code B6 is for Boston. In the second 033 field, the first subfield A has 19891017 or October 17th, 1989, and the second subfield A has 19891019 or October 9th, 1989. Subfield B, the Library of Congress Geographical Classification Area Code 5754 is for England, and subfield C, the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Sub-Area Code L7 is for London. There is a single MARC field 518 with all the text in subfield A, but the information is separated by a semicolon, documenting the recording of all 4 works. The 518 states, recorded at Jordan Hall, New England Conservatory, Boston, Mass., June 8 through 10, 1992, first through third works, and at Henry Wood Hall, London, October 17 through 1989, fourth work. Here is Lost and Found, OCLC number 495988502, another audio CD record that I enhanced during a database cleanup project. MARC field 033 has blank as the first indicator, which means that there is no date information provided. Second indicator 0 is for the capture date or information about the recording of sound, the filming of images, or the production or creation of an item. There is no subfield A. In subfield B, 4034 is the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Area Code for Texas, and subfield C, the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Sub-Area Code A9 is for Austin. However, notice that in the 518, which only has subfield A, it simply states that this audio CD was recorded at Congress House Studios. I Googled Congress House Studios and discovered that it is located in Austin, Texas. The 518 MARC field could be enhanced with the geographic location. I created the alternative 518 field on the bottom right, recorded at Congress House Studios, Austin, Texas. The image on the slide is the inside of the studio. The CMC very rarely catalogs DVDs, so I am using the first example above from a DVD that I use in a Moodle class that I teach. MARC field 033 has 0 as the first indicator for a single date, 1972, and the second indicator is blank because no information has been provided for the type of event. Subfield B is 4340, the Library of Congress Geographical Classification Area Code, which is for Utah. As you can see in the 518 field, which has all the text in subfield A, the movie was filmed in Utah. The second example above is for a set of DVDs that I found just browsing. It's OCLC number 981618919, I Love Lucy, Season 4. MARC field 033 has 2 as the first indicator, range of dates. So there are 2 subfield A's, 195410004, or October 4th, 1954, and 1955050, or May 30th, 1955. This is for the range of dates the episodes were broadcast. The second indicator is 1, the broadcast date, information about the broadcast or rebroadcast of sound by radio or images by television. Subfield B, the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Area Code 3700 is for United States. Notice that instead of MARC field 518, there is a 500 general note that the single episodes were originally broadcast in 1954. Because we don't have further information about the second date in MARC field 033, second subfield A, we will have to assume that this was the final broadcast date of season 4. This is another example from OCLC's bibliographic formats and standards, since I have not cataloged an item with subfield P and subfield 2. In all 3 033 fields, the first indicator is 2, range of dates, and the second indicator is 0 for the capture date or information about the recording of sound, the filming of images, or the production or creation of an item. For the first 033 field, the first subfield A, formatted date time, has 20090912, or September 12th, 2009. The second subfield A, formatted date time, has 20090913, or September 13th, 2009. For all 3 MARC 00033 fields, subfield B, subfield C, subfield P, and subfield 2 are identical. In subfield B, the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Area Code 5754, England, and subfield C, the Library of Congress Geographic Classification Sub-Area Code L7, London. Subfield P, place of event, which may be in a controlled or uncontrolled form, and in this example is Abbey Road Studios, London, England. Subfield 2, source of term, a MARC code that identifies the source of the term in subfield P when from a controlled list. See subject heading and term source codes. Subfield 2, NAF, is a source code for NACO authority file. The second MARC field 033 has 20091206, or December 6, 2009 in the first subfield A, formatted date time. In the second subfield A, formatted date time 2009-1207 or December 7th, 2009. In the third MARC field 033, subfield A, formatted date time is 201-00308 or March 8th, 2010. I think the first indicator for the third 033 field should be 0 single date. Let's look at the formatted MARC field 518. In subfield O, other event information states that it was recorded. Subfield D, date of event, documents that the dates mentioned above in the three MARC 033 fields. In subfield P, place of event, we see that it was recorded in Studio 1, Abbey Road Studios, London. The photo on the slide is of the outside of Abbey Road Studios. I did not provide any examples of MARC field 033, subfield 0, 1, 6, or 8, or of MARC field 518, subfield 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, but you can look at OCLC's bibliographic formats and standards for examples of those. Here are the resources that I used, very short list of resources, along with the WorldCat records that I mentioned. Okay, does anyone have any questions?
See, there's nothing in the chat box currently.
Okay, and here are the people on the call today. We've got Barb Scobie, myself, Mary Cornell, Eric McKinney, Kat Anderberg, Blake Walter, Katie Roberts, and Andrea Joysta. Okay. While we're waiting for questions, just a reminder that the evaluation form is on L2. Please fill that out and send it to me. The instructions are on the evaluation form. And then also please join us March 9th for a global journey cataloging world languages that Mary Cornell and our intern Sarah Miku will be presenting. And Eric, you did push the record button, right?
I did.
Okay.
We are still recording.
That's a good thing. Nobody has any questions? Did you allow people to unmute themselves?
I did.
Okay. So if you're in an environment where you can unmute yourself, please feel free to do so, or else you can just put your question in the chat box. I know it was a lot of numbers thrown at you. Wow. This might be the first time we don't have any questions at all. So Lisa, does that mean since it was such a clear, informative presentation that nobody has any questions? And I'm okay with that. Okay. Chris Chang said, thank you so much for your presentation. I finally understand 033 and 518 fields now. All right, Lisa, fair enough. She said, I mean, I can only speak for myself. Yeah, I don't think anybody ever explained to me about the necessity of if you have the 033, you have to have a 518 or a 500 in there. Yeah, Erica says, lots to digest. Thank you for making the slides available. Of course. Sorry, I didn't have any real world objects, but I haven't cataloged any. I guess I could have made up a fake one to share. And then Rhoda says, great presentation as always. I agree, there's lots to digest. Okay, that's cool, that's fair. Oh, Linda, yeah, that's right. I did catalog my dog for an exercise. So yeah, I should look and see if I created a 518, but probably didn't for him. Okay, so Blake, for 033 subfield B and subfield C, have you heard any explanation for why they chose LC classification numbers? It just seems like a really obscure way to represent geographical data. I don't know for sure. I have a feeling it was probably easiest because you've got the G class with all those geographic codes. But like, you know, your patrons looking at these records are not going to understand what any of those numbers are. And I mean, I certainly don't either. I have to look them up. I guess if you are cataloging a lot of DVDs or CDs or naturally occurring objects, you might be more familiar with all the geographical codes. But I mean, I think it's a cool way to code them, but it's rather cumbersome having to look up those numbers in the class schedule. Blake also says, given that there are linked data numbers for geographic areas, that seems like a more useful numerical representation. True. Okay, Mary says, you show the 518 catalog 2 different ways with the subfields and without. Do you have a preference when cataloging these types of materials? I'm kind of lazy. I shouldn't say, I'm kind of lazy and I just like to put everything in subfield A, but I think when you have more information, it's probably better to use subfield O, PD, and or subfield 3 if it's, you know, useful. I'm not really sure if there is a plan, like is there a reason for us to put things in the subfields? Because is that going to be helping link data in the future? I don't know. But you know, if you just have a simple statement that it was recorded in, you know, Cambridge, Massachusetts or something, there's just really no reason to parse those out in the subfield codes, at least in my opinion. It's just easier and better to just put it in subfield A. But if anybody else has any preference, please feel free to chat that. And I tried to find, you know, a variety of examples so that you could see the different ways that they are structured and formatted. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions? No? All right, well, I hope you all did learn something today. And if you've got anything that's recorded or broadcast or found, captured, feel free to start using the 033 and 518 or 5XX fields to document all that wonderful information. You are welcome, Anna. Eric, if you want to stop the recording.
Can do.
Thank you. And I'm going to hopefully quit sharing my screen.